Are you ready? Are you ready? Frequency.
I'm Liane. Are you ready to ride the frequency?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
You had me laughing for
I didn't say
Welcome to
anything.
another edition of Riding the Frequency, Lady Liane's show, broadcasted. How you doing, Lady Liane? I can't even talk. You got me. I just looked down and she's like doing twirls. I'm like, whatever. It's her show.
Well, I just have a question. Why aren't you doing twirls? What's your problem?
I got a bad back. You remember in 2019 they thought I broke my back on duty. That's why. Hell, if I could get on a pole, I would.
Now we're introducing poles. Like first episode, now he's talking about poles.
Oh my God, y'all crack me up.
Conversation out of here. Oh my God.
Lord.
Press the button. You press the button. Press it.
Welcome everybody.
Hi, Denise.
Welcome, Sherry. A little twisted, Denise.
Oh wow, hi. Like, wait, what a crowd we got today.
Yes, everybody's starting to stack up. Welcome everybody.
We've got a crowd. We've got a guest.
Yeah.
We've got stuff. All right, let me get some. It's not dirty laundry. I've got some laundry list. Like one thing, the dispensary, Flower Power, 22 West 66th Street, the winter coat drive. The box is filling up. It's going to be done on the 12th. So anybody in the 5-borough area, please do go dump a coat in the box. Good feels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good feels. And, not necessarily THC. It's the CBD. That's also good feels. Like not in the cabeza, but in the relaxa la body la sleep.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got old coats in your closets that still look like new that you're not using them. Donate them.
Ladies and gentlemen in Manhattan, clearly if you're living in, I don't know, Iceland, you're not coming to the dispensary to dump a coat in there. You probably need your coat, actually, if you're living in Iceland. But, that's another thing. Anyway, who wants a poll? Here's for 2 seconds. Wow. And Grizz on a poll. You want your money back? What do you mean? He gets on a poll.
To make it rain.
And I keep like 60% because I'm the pimp.
That's right. I even shaved for the show.
Oh, popping balls.
Oh Lord.
Okay, no, we're not writing that song.
No.
Okay, so there's that. Then there's anybody who did actually sign up for Soul Tracks newsletter and did vote for my friends Detroit Centrics.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I don't know. Today's the day. It's today. And I haven't seen Poot Squat. Squat. So I don't know. I really wanted to be able to announce that today. Kathy, Paul, Vanilla Dick, help. What happened? Tell me. All right. So there's that. And was there any other laundry list, to-do list, listy list? I think that may be it. So here we go. We have our semi-constricted time, which makes me feel like at some point it's possible that I will pre-record interviews and pop them up on my channel separate from my live Monday thing. Like maybe it's two different things. I don't know. But for now, we've got our first guest. His name is David.
Oh, he's smiling backstage. He's
He's got that kind of something eating grin on his face.
He does. He's like,
maybe I should change my introduction. There's just some ex-Con Ed worker that wants to yap about some crap. Like, no, I'm kidding. Not at all. David Lipton is awesome. He's the kindest man. I had the fortune of meeting him, very good fortune of meeting him, when I decided to not be a recluse that other time. I decided to leave my apartment at the behest of somebody named Alan Steinfeld, who was co-hosting a Bruce Lipton mini workshop downtown at a place called The Little Church. So I went to the Little Church and saw some big stuff. Like, it was really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I went to the front and I talked to JJ and Desiree Hertak, to whom Alan Steinfeld introduced me. And then this super friendly dude just like showed up and started talking. And then I started talking to him and I was like, wow, this guy's cool. And the next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I'm that guy's little brother. I'm like, wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, I got to go talk to that guy for a while. And I was like, no, you can't just say that and leave. What? Just happened. Like, so I just patiently waited for him to get done talking to this dude and his wife. Just waiting. I was so good. So good. I didn't interrupt. And then I said, hi, and I talked to you. And then it's Facebook messages and now we're friends. I'm so excited.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So we got to talking a little bit about so many things. But one of the things that he's experienced, which I'm going to allow him to tell us, is having spent some time up in Vancouver with the First Nation Cree.
That is awesome.
Participated in some ceremonies to which the public is not usually invited. So David is no longer the public. I think David is actually an elder there now. And so without any further ado, please welcome to Riding the Freakwency, my freaky deaky friend, David Lipton.
Welcome, kind sir. How you doing?
Good. Hello, everybody. Hi, Grizzly. Hi, Dave.
Oh, what an honor.
Wait,
what were you laughing for?
Why am I laughing?
Yeah.
Why do I ever
had a brain fart?
He always laughs. Liane and laugh. It starts with the letter L. That's backwards.
There you go.
Wait a minute. If we do it close enough, we can touch each other.
Ew.
There you go.
Ew. What's David's camera? Am I the only one that's seeing just like a black screen?
What?
Maybe it's me.
No. Yeah, we look great, don't we, David?
I think so.
Got some powder here if you guys need.
I do. I always need powder. Makeup, Mary. I need makeup.
I need it to blend a little more. It's a little.
Mary's laughing. What the heck?
Mary has a lot to laugh at. I mean,
laughter is good.
With you, not at you. All right. So, okay, that's enough. See, like I'm going to mute myself and let David talk. It'll be fabulous.
All right. Well,
tell me about your childhood. No, don't.
Well, so I got involved with the First Nation Cree tribe in Canada through my brother. The chief White Standing Buffalo, Tom McCullum, read my brother's book, and he invited my brother to come to a Sundance. And a Sundance is a spiritual ceremony as compared to a powwow, which is a celebratory dress up ceremony. And so my brother went to the ceremony and he made friends with the people up there. And the chief said he could invite outsiders to come. It was like very unheard of, outsiders, especially a group. So Bruce had put out email out to people, and they had people from all over the world came. Africa, New Zealand, Europe. They came from everywhere. And It was such an amazing story for me. It's an amazing story. I was just coming out of a bad operation, and my mind was messed up from the laudanum. I just came out of surgery, and the doctor made a mistake. My brother calls me. I was at a very low point in my life. Like I lost direction. And Bruce is telling me you want to go to a Sundance, a spiritual thing. And I was having a hard time understanding him because my mind was in a cloud. And so it turns out that we were invited to go to a Sundance ceremony. And the first time we went, 2016, was in Vancouver area. And the first time we went, my brother and I, we flew there. My son Alex, he flew there from down here. I flew with my brother from San Francisco. That's how we met. And then rented a car, and we went to the ceremonies, and I'll tell you more about that. But then we'd go to a motel at night and back and forth. So the 3 years following, I said, we got to stay with the people at night. Just going back to the hotel or motel, missing out on the camaraderie of the whole thing. So the next year we got a camper up there, and in the next 2 years, tent. It was like a hilt. I gotta call you back. I'm on a Zoom call. Bye. Wow, my brother just called me.
Stop it. He's just trying to he wants to be on my show. That's all it is.
That's time maybe we can work that out.
Oh, come on now. That would blow
Right.
this whole thing up, but good. But that's not
so,
why we're
yeah. So getting to the first year, getting to the ceremony with my brother, he said, "Oh, you're gonna meet great people, funny people, hardcore workers like me." And it was a tremendous experience. I met what the picture we're looking at now is the arbor we built, and in the center is a large tree, and that tree is picked out by the chief. And what he does is he goes into the woods, and he picks out a tree and he prays to the tree. And the next day, all the men go up into the woods. Now, this is about a 35-foot tree, about at least 6 inches in diameter. And all the men go up into the field, into the woods. We pray to the tree, and there's 2 special axes. All they are used for is to cut the tree down. And then we drop the tree without letting it touch the ground, carrying it out of the woods. We bring it down to the field that we're in. If you go down just a little lower on that picture, somewhere in there, I don't know if you could, well, not in this picture, but we made they made a giant wreath. I'll have to get a better picture of that. There's a giant wreath, and then they take like a sheet, and everybody puts tobacco in it, and they make it into a big ball. And so that's up at the top of the tree, and it represents the phoenix nest and the phoenix egg. And unfortunately, this picture you can't see it in. But anyway, we take the tree and bring it down to the field, and they cut the bark with designs. And at that time, the women are digging the hole that the tree is going to go in. So when we put the tree in, it's the Creator, the Tree of Life, and Mother Earth. And that's how the representation of that. And then all around it, this huge circle. There's two circles, and they're about inner circle is about 5 feet space between the outer circle. And there are sun dancers who pledge to become a sun dancer. They have to stay inside that arbor in that rings for 3 days and 3 nights, no food or water. And my son Alex did that, and that's a whole thing, a whole story about the sun dancers.
That's Alex right there in that photo, right?
Yeah, this is Alex, and on the right is 4 Arrows. His name is, and he's a a big activist for Native Americans. I think he's from Mexico, but he's written several books. Really nice man, and wonderful people, and there it is so much to tell. It's hard to to put it in any kind of an order. But so the first, the most important thing that happened to me was in the first couple of days we're there, where first thing you do is you set up your little campsite where you're going to stay, and then the men are doing their chores and the women doing their chores. And my brother told me, you're going to meet some really crazy guys, people like you, blah, blah, blah. So I met this guy, Patrick, tall, handsome guy. There's a picture of me with him somewhere. And nice guy, great smile. And that's Alex and Bruce. And then, so the second day I see Patrick, he tells me, he's standing there and he said, put out your hands. And he puts a wooden dowel in my hand. And the wooden dowel, these are what they used for their piercings. And it's very, very sacred. The amount of energy in these two dowels. So one was the first time Patrick had dragged the buffalo skulls, a piercing, and that's a story in itself. And the second one was from the last time he did it, was that time I was up there. And he said he did it like 6 times. And the piercings are very spiritual. I get that, they're sacrificing their pain or whatever it is for everybody. And I watch Patrick. What they do is he goes up to the tree of life and he prays. And then he comes back and they have a little, inside that big circle, they have a little corner, and we hold up some blankets. So when they're getting pierced, they're praying, looking up, praying at the tree. And so when they cut into the skin, it's under the skin and above the muscle. It's a little tag skin. And when they're doing it, they're in such a state, they do not feel it. And this whole thing, they're in such a spiritual state, there's no pain involved. And so he has these one dowel in each shoulder blade. He goes back up to the tree. Now this is the last day of the first year I went up. And I'm like, the first time I've seen this, have no idea what's going on. So he goes up and he prays, he makes peace with the tree of life. Then they take him outside and they attach a rope to these dowels that are in his shoulder blades in the back. And then with whoever wanted to and follow him, we followed him. He went around that arbor, and I counted 125 paces. He dragged those six buffalo skulls all in line around, and everybody walked around and around and around. And I'm like, when does it stop? I have no idea. And finally they stopped, and then the chief had walked Patrick around. An elder walks with the sun dancer, and I see him, Patrick, talking to the chief. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then the chief comes walking down to me, and he says, Patrick wants me to sit on one of the buffalo skulls. And I'm like, what? So the whole purpose was he wants to break free. And so I sit down on it, and he tries pulling, and then he backs up and he lunges. And this piece of skin, it rips, don't be squeamish. They didn't feel it. And then he goes back in and he prays again. And they put their special powders or whatever herbs they have that they antiseptic. And then they hug everybody. And then Patrick handed me the wooden dowel, one of them, and he says, you have the one from the first time and one from the last time.
Which
So,
is what you were holding in your hand in that first image
Yeah.
that we showed, or the
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, it's not both from the same pull. They're two.
Yeah, they're two different pulls, the first and the last.
Right. So
Yeah.
so back to the story where Patrick hands me these, and that was the story of what they were about. And so the next day, I see Patrick, and I woke up to him, and I took off. I had a really nice Leatherman pocket tool, handyman knife, and I gave that to him as a gift because I flew up there. I didn't have very little anything to give him. So, and we hugged, and then on the third day, I see Patrick, and as I'm walking towards him, he has this concerned look on his face, and I'm like, hey, what's up, Patrick? I didn't see him look like this before. He says, well, I got a very important question to ask. Sure, what is it? And he said to me, he was an orphan, and he asked me if I would be his father.
Wow. Wow.
Of course. There's a 50-year-old man. He wants me to be his father. Absolutely. And we've been very close ever since. So it was a really good relationship.
Super beautiful story.
What's that?
I said that's a super beautiful story.
Yes. This picture here, that's one of the last ceremonies is the 4 directions, and then on our foreheads we have blue dots, and our cheeks, and that represents 4 directions. And the woman between us is the chief's daughter. Makes her own dresses. She does dancing. Very wonderful woman. And
you guys are actually beaming. Like you can see the energy coming off of all 3 of you.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was such the camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of great stuff. And so that was the first couple days, and I guess I should tell you about the first ceremony. The first ceremony starts on Friday night, and I experienced this ceremony the first time I was up there, and the last time, which was 3 years later, the fourth year, because they don't do it all the time. And the ceremony is called the Starlight, the grandfather ceremony. And
I like this story. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a great story. And the thing is, the first year, it was a big learning curve. It was excitement, not knowing anything about anything I'm experiencing. So they have a large tent that they put up, and it must have been like about 16 feet by 32 feet, kind of an oval tent. But they put this tent. Now everybody it starts like about 7:30 at night. Everybody goes there. No electronics, nothing with batteries, no flashlights inside this tent. Okay, and I had a watch on, but it wasn't an electronic watch, so that's okay. And but otherwise, everybody went in there, and there was only a lantern hanging from the ceiling. Now I have a bad back, and they let me bring a chair in, and I sat against the back of the tent. As you go in, I'm against the back of the tent, and everybody was in there. My brother was right. Everybody's up against each other. Well, now over to my left, there was about 5 guys in a circle with the drum, playing the drum, a big drum. And then there was in the center of this tent, and now we're packed. Like I said, 3 people in front of me, and then there was an elder standing there, and then shaman, elder, medicine man, Leonard. He's there on the floor, and And to the right, as you go in, there's this giant cylinder-looking thing with blankets, or around it, probably about 7-8 feet tall, probably about 4 feet across, 4-foot diameter, and tall, and that's in the center, and we're all sitting around it, packed. And I'll tell you more about the cylinder. So the first time we saw this, I was completely skeptical of how this happened. But so what happens is we'll all go in there, and Leonard's sitting there on the ground, and they're tying him up with leather. With it, it was like when you sit on your feet, you're kneeling, sit on your feet. So they tie it restrictively. His feet together, his hands together behind his back, and tied his hands to his feet together, and also leather around his neck. He was talking like that. That's how tight and restrictive. And so he's lying on his side now, all tied up, restricted. And they said, okay, we're going to turn the light out. And they turn the light out. The drummers are playing, going for 5, 8, 10 minutes, and going and going. And then it got like unusual. It was pitch black in there. And I started seeing like little sparkles, like almost fireflies, were floating in front of me where I knew there were people sitting. As if they weren't there. I was like looking into a void of sparkles, looking around. I couldn't see my brother to the right of me, and anybody. And then I looked at the cylinder that was in the middle of the room. Above it was an aura, a nebula, a glow. A glow forming above it. And this, I know there's no electricity in here. It's like, how are they doing this? Hollywood couldn't do this. That's the way I looked at it. I'm like, ah. And then the drum finally stopped, and everybody starts asking the elder questions. Yes, grandfather a question, and it goes through Leonard, who's tied up on the floor in the dark over there. People would ask, is my father, a lot? Is my father peace? Blah blah blah, and you hear, and then the elder would interpret what Leonard was saying about the father, the crossover, whatnot. And people were asking questions. I asked the grandfather, I said, my back is bothering me. Is this something I've done to myself, or is this a physical thing? And then the elder says it's a physical thing, and there are other people here. There were chiropractors, there are healers, there are people here who could help you with that. Great. People are asking questions. And it's like, we had a long time. It's hours now. I'm like, okay, let's stop asking questions. I want to go. So they stopped asking the questions. The drummers started playing again. And then they stopped. They turned the light on. Leonard's gone. Leonard was lying there on the floor. He's gone. So a couple of elders immediately start unwrapping these blankets, a cylinder. And there's Leonard inside, tied up in this cylinder. So my brother and I, they immediately had to cut. The thing was, these saplings that are stuck in the ground about 4 or 5 inches, and then they were all tied together. So after this was all done, Bruce and I, we walked around and we checked out, could they lift it up? He snuck in, somebody pushed him, because he ain't getting over the top. And that's when I had to accept it. I accept it. So it's like he got in there, and right in front of my eyes. Well, even though I couldn't see it, of course, And it's like, that's a powerful statement. That was powerful. And seeing that aura, I knew something was going on. And this is my first ceremony in life. So that
Okay. So second time, what happened?
so the second time I saw this ceremony, I knew what it was all about. I didn't question it. I embraced it, and pretty much the same thing happened again with the aura, the nebula, this glow floating above, and the little sparkles. It's like I embraced it then. The first time I questioned it to death, I guess.
Yeah, but coming from our background with the analytical mind, you probably went berserko, like going, what the F is this going on? Like, there's no way, it's a trick, blah, 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 like all of it. But, how do Tibetan monks, rise up off the ground? It's not fake, there are frequencies and dimensions that interweave with our third dimension, whether you choose to accept them or not. But when I feel like, from what I've heard you say, that like you can't help but get entangled with it once you're in that physical space and in that mental environment, times however many people are in that space with you, it's generating some serious vibes. So, I feel like if you were on some spaceship, you would see a glow coming from whatever area you were in, for sure. That would look very bright, but nothing like electricity. Wouldn't surprise me.
Right. And I've seen enough electricity.
Yeah, well, there you go. I was just asking David, I received a damaged product. I'm like, is red live and white is right? Which one is the live one, so I don't fry
The marked one.
Marked one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the first day. And then let's see, another ceremony the first time was an orphan ceremony. And if you recently lost a relative, a parent, it was probably the first time. It was probably about 8 of us, and my brother too. He was there with me, and and it's a process. I can't go into the detail of what they do, but the chief walks down and he talks to each one of us, and there's so much emotion, like, from my mother that I didn't share before, didn't have go through me before, that came out there. So man,
it forces a straight guy to get super vulnerable. Like, if you're not ready to do that, like, too bad, because it's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That can be very difficult, but very brave of you to go do these things, because I know, like, we talked about how you guys grew up as a family in upstate New York, Pleasantville, right? Like, and I spent summers in Putnam Valley, close enough. So the culture up there is not very accepting of Jews or Black people, minorities in general. They don't like it. There's a real redneck mentality up there. So growing up in that time and space, like, probably wasn't a whole hell of a lot of fun,
Yeah.
So when you get introduced to these kind of things, like, and having the big brother you do, who has delved and explored and found the things that he's found to be true, whether society is ready to support it or not, like that must have been a very interesting experience too. You're fun, right? Like, I have a personal question, and it's okay if you don't want to answer, and it has nothing to do with the ceremonies, but like, at what point did you realize your brother was not full of shit? From the beginning, or?
He's still full of shit.
See, there's the sibling shit that I don't have. I'm an only child. I have to say these things to myself.
No.
Liane, you're still so full of shit. I know, but I'm fun. Yeah, I know.
When did I think my brother was serious about something, or what is that what you mean? Or
no, about his scientific work. Like, at what point did you realize that he wasn't messing around? Like, did you believe him from the beginning, or did you have to have some kind of proof? Like, how did you?
Well, I'm 5 years younger than him, and so he graduated 5 years ahead of me. And when he went off to school, his first was CW Post College. He did 4 years there. We had no idea what he was. We knew he wasn't going to be a doctor, a medical doctor, but he was going to school learning about medical stuff.
Right.
But because I was at an age where I had my own life going on. I wasn't, Bruce.
You're 13 years old. So you're probably on your dirt bike trying to figure out like how to get a good look at some boobs. Like,
But we just, well, we used to say,
healthy young boy.
Bruce is, I don't know what he's doing. He's a mad scientist.
Yeah, well, that probably hasn't changed much. Like he's only gotten more practice, right? Like,
yeah, there you go. But I think by the time he was finished from CW Post, he went to University of Virginia, and he's got his doctorates there. I think I think where he got it there. So I called him the mad scientist. We had no idea, what he was doing. We knew he was doing research stuff. That was the extent of it. I didn't understand.
And then did he come home for holidays and try to explain to you like what he's finding about how the environment, like was he trying to, or
I
did
don't
he
remember.
not?
Nah.
Well, then what point in your life did you stop, listen, and realize, because now you travel with him. That's how I met you in the first place. Because you're like his number one biggest super fan supporter guy. Like,
yeah.
Which is beautiful. I love that.
I went to my wife and I have a 1972 Harley Davidson Sportster, which is a sport bike, 1,000 cc's with a 2-gallon gas tank. Well, we got on that and we went from New York to Wisconsin. I get 80 miles to the tank full.
So you stopped a couple times.
We stopped many times. And it's one of those things, and where you have to young, dumb, and stupid to do that kind of stuff. And we did it, and so I went out to visit him, and he took me to his laboratory. He showed me the electron microscope he was using to work on, and to use the electron microscope. This is University of Wisconsin. To use the microscope, you have to sign out a certain time that you're going to use it. Bruce had priority use of it. Everybody had to sign in around him. So
wow, that's pretty impressive.
So he took me and showed me this giant machine. And you say a microscope where there's a little thing like this. This is a room. This thing's at coolers and all sorts of stuff. And he was showing me, cells, individual cells in the microscope. He took an eye gene from a salamander egg and put it in another salamander egg, and it was born with 3 eyes. That was one of the first things I ever saw he did.
Wow.
I knew he was dealing with small microembryology or histology or cells, and that's his claim.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. And he took me a tour.
Okay, so you're looking at these cells and you're in his space, and you're like, what is it dawning on you that good God, he's wow, pioneering something here.
Yeah. So I was about 28, I guess, around then. So I realized the scope of what he was doing.
The magnitude is huge. I mean, it's a species changer.
Oh.
Which is why Wiki keeps calling it pseudoscience, because there's a narrative being threatened. Like, we always have to go back to that, don't we, Liane? Yes, we do. Because it is.
Yes, it is.
And as well it should be, because the narrative with which we've been, or by which we've been abused and left behind, is ridiculous. So, I really hope in his lifetime, in our lifetime, we see a big giant shift from the medical industry to a healing practice.
Yeah.
difference between the two, you know, and the education of the species as to how we actually function, you know.
Yeah, maybe if they took the money out of the equation, it would help.
Right. Well, but that whole nonsense was set up a long time ago. You know, I mean, there's definitely a way to live symbiotically, and I'm not talking like unhealthy psychologically symbiotic, but like there's a symbiosis we have with the earth, and by birthright, like it's just there. So fostering that rather than fostering greed and all these other crazy ego concepts that we've adopted and thump like they're God, you know, maybe at some point, you know, we'll be able to let that go a little bit. Make space for something more coherent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I you know, you're such a good guy. You've been such a good friend to me personally. I abuse this guy all the time, sending him all the unfinished music, asking, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? What do you think about this lyric? What do you think about that lyric? Like, you've been so kind and accepting and generous with me. Thank you. I just want to say that.
Well, my happiness to give it to you.
Well, I'm ready to receive. Thank you. So
there you go.
Whatever I can do for you ever, let me know. If I can do it, I'm down right away.
Okay. You do a great job on your own. Really.
Well, thank you.
Love yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love your frequency.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. I just hit the thing and my chair went down, like being on the TGV. Weep.
So you deflated.
I was talking to my friend Randell, who's actually visiting his 101-year-old mom today, and they're having their own special Thanksgiving together, which I thought was beautiful. I'll have to have Randell on at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I threw myself off. I was talking to Randell, and what was he saying? He said something that was important, but it was so important that it just went flying right out of my head. Oh, well, we'll come back.
Pass through.
Maybe. It flew. Oh, speaking of flying, I sent David this videotape today. This giant hawk landed on my air conditioner in the dining room. It was huge. Okay, so mind you, the air conditioner is about at least 18 inches. And this hawk was taking up a good, 3/4 of it, space on it when it turned horizontally. Its face was about the size of my fist.
Yep.
It was pretty big. Like, I do have the neighborhood red-tailed hawk, and I think he or she was maybe seeing my parrots more than likely through the window. They were none too pleased. They were making very bad noises.
Did they say? Did they say?
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
I've had a history of hawks following me around, like on properties where I live. They hang out, they come in trees. I'll look up when I'm driving. I was driving down Sawtell and looked up, and there's a hawk just flying right over my car. It's just very strange how I always seem to see these things. But it's not rare at my house, which makes me feel like that's weird. Like, I don't know, maybe it's me, but I guess that's a compliment, or maybe it just means that I'm tuned into a different set of triggers that make me pay attention. Like, I'm obsessed.
I just seen one that size a couple of weeks ago. I go to come outside, and sitting right here on this chair was one that size, looking out into my yard. I don't know what he was looking at, but I got a little dog, so I
was just gonna say he was probably looking at Loki and Bambi for dinner. I used to have a 6-pound Yorkshire Terrier, and like I used to keep her in. I would not let her be in the yard by herself because they and coyotes. You guys have those too. Like, there was a coyote. Right? Midnight, we're walking Layla, and this big guy is just sitting right there on the corner, looking like, how you doing? And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Pick up the dog. Pick it up. Or they'll snatch it right off your leash, man. Oh.
Got a lot of them around here. They do a lot of. They yelp.
They do yelp. I remember the first time I ever slept up in Mandeville Canyon at my husband's parents' house. They had one up there. And I specifically asked if we could sleep up there because I wanted to hear them yipping. It's the only reason I wanted to go. I'm so weird. But like things that have happened at that house, a little lynx or a little lynx, they're not that little. Honestly, I saw it cross by the pool. So I went running into their primary bedroom and looked out the window. And sure enough, there it was in the tree staring back at me. Like, and I've seen raccoons with face the size of my own. They make pretty cool noises.
Yes.
They do really weird chirping thing.
Keep them far away from me.
Really? You don't like them?
Raccoons? No.
Why? Just have an aversion?
No. Scavengers, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of thought it was fun. It was when I was taking my crazy, like a 1.5 mile super powered walks in the middle of Mar Vista. Like you see things in LA. I mean, mountain lions in Santa Monica, they go off somehow and get thrown off there or whatever and end up, I don't know.
No, thank you.
No raccoons. Well, what's your favorite animal ever? It's a really adult conversation we're having now.
Loki.
Loki, your little chihuahua. Chihuahua. Loki. He was a trickster, that Loki. In Norse myths. I loved Norse myths. We had Norse myths in 4th grade. Norse myths, and then ancient history was the second part of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, but the whole ending of the Norse mythology with their version of the apocalypse really freaked me out. Like everything was cool until we got to that. And then there was something about that story that was so deeply disturbing to me. Like it went through me. Didn't like it. It was good till the end, and then not so much. So yeah, that kind of stuck with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's nice that you've named your dog Loki. Is he a troublemaker? Yeah. Like his namesake?
We have one of those cardboard marquees that you would see, stand-up marquees you see in a theater.
Yeah.
Of Loki in our kitchen. It's like a 6-foot tall Loki cardboard. Does
he scare himself?
Well, if you don't see him there and you do, and then you glance at him,
it's like Loki Godzilla. Without no, he's got sharp teeth. Dogs have teeth. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh well. We're being silly.
Yes, but that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, their silliness is highly underrated. I think, my husband always used to tell me, I don't have time for this nonsense. I'm like, what are you talking? How can you say that? I live for the nonsense. He's like, I don't have time for this. Well, yeah, okay. It's almost time to, I feel like we need to make a prank phone call. Call Tim and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about my brother's wedding.
I was going to say that's the only other, not the only other. I want to hear everything, but the other story that I would have loved for you to tell is the one you're about to. So I'm going to be quiet again.
Okay, so my brother wanted to get married in the tribal ceremony because we saw my son's friend that he met there. He got married to his wife there. So it was a very beautiful ceremony, being married by the chief, and they exchanged the gifts. Well, they made her dress and made his blouse, and on the picture, if you look at her belt, it's they made a beaded belt, and it's the DNA chain, woven DNA into the belt. So
yeah, is that in one of the images?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe Grizz can pull that up in a minute.
Yeah. And,
so when they went up to was it a pre-planned for months, or was it just spur of the moment decision to go up there?
Pre-planned.
Okay.
It was like we left the second year. Was it the second year we got married? Yeah. when we let, I get the years mixed up, but when we left the one year and saw the wedding, Bruce said he wanted to get married there, and it happened the following year. So all that involved. When you look at the picture of the arbor, the colors on the top, you get square yards, and everybody donates. So there's the colors that are being displayed on top of the arbor, and then there's the colors that they're 1 square yard patches that we use for offerings. So that stuff. So this is the ones on the top. This is the one who's getting married donates those. So we got a bunch of those, and then what else? So and the ceremony takes place inside there. It was so beautiful. You know, everybody with they're all dressed up, their decor and the chief. It was just so pretty, so pretty. And then maybe you have the one with his their dress when they got married.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to squint because they're kind of shaded. Maybe okay, but it's not going to help if I put my mouse on it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just scroll through them, Chris. And see. It would be with people.
Oh, I don't know why that came crooked.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this one.
That's it. There it is.
Okay, if you zoom
That's
in
the wedding
on
picture.
the belt, it's the DNA woven pattern.
So
My
pretty.
brother worked with DNA. And so they made her dress, that belt, his blouse, and I think somebody made that necklace for him. So
Yeah, the chest plate, the necklace, and they made his blouse, you told me also,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's just a beautiful ceremony. The words, it was spiritual, lovely, peaceful, all the above, all the above.
Actually, Bruce has a book out, and the audiobook version is read by Bruce and his lovely wife. Right?
Yeah.
I think so. I think he just posted a post about that book today, The Honeymoon.
The Honeymoon Effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
I keep them hidden in a nice place. Well, my sophomore, I made my own medicine bag. I made Alex a breastplate. I didn't put that in the pictures.
Oh, but you know what? I think I have a picture of it. Maybe let me find it.
Yeah, I sent that to you.
Yeah.
So,
let me flip it over to Grizzly. Pardon me looking down, you guys.
Yeah.
Look like I'm something.
So, as a gift for Alex, after he did finished his 4th year of pledging to be a sun dancer, I made him a native breastplate, and it was so much fun. Got into
I'm sending it to Grizzly right now.
My artsy craftsy stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually a really beautiful breastplate. It's very cool. I was looking at it and thinking, oh, look at how like it's really even. It made me very aesthetically pleased because the black bead is in the middle and there are 3 red ones and then there's a white one and a black one and it was just all very even, hung very symmetrically.
Right. Well, that's no
problem.
And there it is. I made that.
So pretty.
Proud of that.
Where's mine? I'm kidding. On a breastplate. We can make breastplates. That's it. Like if we ever hang out, that can be our thing. We can like make breastplates and talk.
You want a choker?
Why would I want a choker? I barely even know her.
I met Lauren Monroe and Kristen Hoffman, and I made both of them native chokers.
That's really lovely. I love her music is pretty freaking
off the charts. I made them both native chokers. I'll send you pictures of that. And
okay.
When I get my beads back out, one of the things I smudge it every day that I work on it. They have to be glass beads, not plastic beads. So
Yep.
it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yep.
But that's my
That's
Archie.
beautiful. It's beautiful work.
Not bad for construction worker, huh?
Not bad for some Con Ed dude. Some guy. 13,000 volts, huh?
Yeah.
What happens if you stick your fingers in there? Your hair looks like this.
I worked on it live. I did that 36 years.
You know, the one thing I don't mess with is electricity. That's the one thing that actually frightens me because I do understand it. How's that?
You can't see it.
Well, there are a lot of things that you can't see that one could choose to be afraid of or not, but it's like the ocean. It's big and it's strong and it's nothing you want to. My hair is a source of jealousy. Oh my God! Here, have it. Take it. You can have it. Have it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Thank you. I just say thank you. Come on, Liane. Just thank you so much. That was a very kind thing to say.
There you go.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyhow.
So what else? What else can we talk about? I'm so grateful that you chose to spend a little linear time with me on this show. And wow, it's fun to have guests.
I used to, all those years I worked for Con Edison, I used to tell good jokes.
Well, I'm sure. Do you have any good ones to tell now?
But I'm not good at jokes anymore. You know what I'm good at? Telling true stories that are sometimes better than jokes.
You know, especially when the story makes the joke on the mainstream. Ha ha, kidding. That's a little snarky. I'm sorry. That's not good vibes.
Right?
But it's funny.
Yeah.
How can we follow David? You can follow David. Well, maybe I don't want this to be your new nickname, Lumpy. Like, I don't like that. There's an Instagram.
It was Lil Lumpy because my brother got tagged from his friend's name Lumpy, and all his friends called me, "Hey, Lil Lump." Look, that's where that came from, and nothing to do with being lumpy. It's just the title.
It's a title, but it's a title that makes me so happy, and I don't even know why. The true stories are fabulous. Like, that's what I try to.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry's awesome. She's got a show called True Ghost Stories on my other friend Scott Valentine and Larry Maestrich's OT. Come on, right? OTT. It's an over-the-top network, which means you can put shows on their network and they're carried like on YouTube, except these guys don't censor people, but they also don't put stuff up that they don't, that isn't so cuckoo. But Thank you, Dario. Molto grazie, Dario. I like speaking to him in the little 3 words of Italian I know. I can speak to anybody in French, though. Wait, what time is it? Okay, we've got a couple little seconds. I know Grizzly's got a new show or a different show coming up at 7:00, so stay tuned for that while I continue rambling. There's a guy. Have you seen the guy who has a pink guitar? He happens to be French, and he sings to animals. And his whole Instagram is this videotapes of him sitting, playing his music. And there was this one animal, and I think the extinction is they're borderline not going to be here for much longer. But they've got one in captivity, and they said he's very shy and he probably won't. So like the guy sat himself down in the stall, which was empty, and sure enough, this animal, he comes in, he's like, you see, and I'm wearing brown. It's perfect, but I don't have the right ears. But he comes in and he looks, and he walks over to the guy and he starts sniffing the thing. And the keepers were sure this animal would not engage. But like, this is music and sounds are so powerful, and the vibes, heart vibes, so powerful, so attractive to literally everything, so much more attractive than the other vibrations one can choose to put out sometimes.
There you go.
So, but yeah, I would love to have that guy on my show. So have you ever seen that guy?
No.
I'm going to send you more clips now.
Okay. There you go. So,
Well, all right. So, David,
yes.
it was it was a pleasure having you on this episode numero 8. I really appreciate you taking the time to come tell those stories to everybody, not just me. And I guess you can call your brother back now. Tell him to stop interrupting my show.
He's into a serious water cleanse up in Topanga Canyon right now with my son and his wife and other 2 people or something.
He's in Topanga. Like, I love Topanga Canyon. The vibes in that canyon are pretty intense.
Crazy. That's a crazy place.
Yeah, it is a crazy place, but you're a crazy guy, right? Doesn't he describe you? So is it somebody had to stay home and watch the dogs? What happened?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, my son's there, and I didn't want to leave my wife alone with the dogs that long it's like 11 days.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah. Intense. All sorts of stuff, being doctor watched and
well, no, I'm sure he's doing stuff with water, like putting intention in it and cleaning it and doing that stuff, right? I mean, that's the thing too. I do that to my water before I drink it. Every once in a while, once a week, I put an amethyst that I've charged in the sun, and I'll put that in my water and charge my water with that and drink that.
Okay.
I'll put written intentions under the glass sometimes. My name in salt water to cleanse that. I do saltwater cleanses on myself.
There you go. So he's up there doing that with my son. And I was going to do it too, but he started, now that I heard what they're going through, it's a change of life thing. I don't want to get to change your food and eating habits and all that. Not for me.
Oh, you have to do that. You have to clean out before you do ayahuasca too. You got to go on a really strict detox diet if you're doing it properly.
Yeah.
And then usually, a lot of times when you clean out like that, you don't want to go back to the other food.
One thing, changing it up a little bit. I was supposed to go in September, but we're going to go in January. My son and I are going to Sedona. And because he was just there last summer doing work, and he said
it's a pretty magical place.
He said he went on a UFO tour.
I'm sure he did. Did he go with what's her name? Sorry,
I don't know her name. I don't know her name, but I'm going back with
Facebook. But we're not talking UFOs, so my brain's not in that lane right now.
Yeah, but he said he went there, and he said he saw about 80 UFOs within an hour.
I'm sure he did. Did they do a CE5 protocol while they were there?
Yeah, they're the super duper infrared binoculars.
Yeah, they have those. They hand those out, the night vision, whatever, to everybody who's on the tour. Yeah, there's a lady who does it. She's pretty famous. Yeah, I know who she is. Like, I maybe we'll talk to her one day. Yeah. She likes my music. It's all about me, right?
There you go. Good.
Only children.
I like that.
Only children, actresses, self-centered.
Oh.
All right. Well.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully, Alex and Bruce don't. I don't know. Their intestines don't explode on the southern end on them while they do all this.
Well,
I feel like that's where you were kind of going with this, like what it's doing to their bodies. Ayahuasca. Listen, that's the one thing that prevents me from doing ayahuasca is my ego. Like, I do not want to poop and puke in a like group bucket. I'm not doing that. There's not what we're doing. No. Liane, like, as crass as I can be, as much as the word Lady Liane is like sarcastic because what a lady. Anyway, yeah, but I'm not doing that. Like, I would have to be with, it would have to be a solo waska. No, we there's no team. There's me and myself and I. Anyway.
I don't particularly enjoy that part.
Well, I'm sure nobody does. Peyote does that to you too, doesn't it? Doesn't that make you puke first and then you go tripping?
Some people. I don't think everybody does it.
The most I've done is acid, mescaline, and mushrooms. And the mushrooms, like the day after, my face hurt because I couldn't stop smiling, which is why Frank Zappa called it the 3 Mile Smile. Gets stuck on your face. My face hurt.
I have the same thing.
My plenum was sore. I couldn't eat my gefilte fish. It hurt.
Yeah. There you go. You silly goose.
I am. All right. Well, please, my love to you, my love to Bambi, and my love to Loki and Alex and Bruce and Margaret and Cindy.
Okay, I will tell them all. And my love.
You have to say her name like that. If you don't say her name like that, I'm gonna get you. Cindy. There you go.
Yeah, you go. Cindy. Gotta do that. Okay. Very good. Till next time.
Till next time, which will probably be in about 20 minutes. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, David.
Love you guys.
Love you, honey.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Frequency.
I'm Liane. Are you ready to ride the frequency?